We've been exploring some strategies here, pushing up to the YouTube playlist, my Talisman Tactica. There are many ways to play this game, to win this game. It's not just get to the Crown of Command, and there might be an alternate ending or a secondary or a hidden or a revealed ending. You still have to get there. But the Tactica of how you do that, there's a couple of different ways. Part of it depends on you're looking at what the other players draw, their characters, and the type of character that you have. I want to sidebar for a moment character selection. Playing with the base game, there's a good stock of characters. As soon as you start adding other characters, the deck is massive. Now, I play with all expansions, big box, small box, everything in, and we have numerous characters. What we will do is we'll mix them up. You draw 4 characters random, hidden. No one else sees them. We all draw 4 characters. And then you look at your 4 characters and you pick the character you want to play. So you might get the character that you want to play going into the game, or if not, at least there'll be something that you can work with. When and if you die, that character does not get recycled. You randomly draw a single new character. There's a lot of different ways to play the game. Some players will say, what character do you want to play? And you kind of draw it and you play it from there. But the characters that are starting with, that's going to determine the Tactica. And my character that I'm playing is going to determine the Tactica. So I framework that because this Tactica, sometimes the other players are going to have an advantage in their character that's going to set them ahead of you in terms of a number of turns. We talk about Talisman being a game of not only controlling and influencing the random, but making the optimal choice every single turn. This is why losing a turn is massive in the game. You're like, well, I just lost a turn. No big deal. Right. But over 2 or 3 or 400 turns of play, losing 10, 15, 20 turns through events, through objects, through spells, that compounds, that adds up. So I never want to lose a turn. I want to try and be as optimal as possible. To level up with strength and craft, sometimes other players will already start at a higher value than you, and they'll draw some good cards. They'll pull ahead. What we start to see is, if we're playing 5 or 6 players, 1 or 2, they'll pull ahead where they're getting ready to make the run for the Crown of Command. Now, sometimes you see another player getting ready to make the run for the Crown of Command. They're going to make it through the portal. You know, they've got some backup. They've got fate. They've got life. They've got a couple of objects. They're probably going to do it, or they're getting ready to do it. So you say to yourself, look, I'm not ready. My character's not ready to make the Crown of Command, but I got to go for it. I got to run for it and see what happens. I'll probably get killed, but if I don't, then I win. If I get killed, I was going to get killed anyway and get blasted by the psionic Crown of Command spell. A second way to this for Talisman is don't go for the Crown of Command. If you're playing the rules permadeath, and sometimes we'll play with this if we want a game to quickly cycle out, you can kill a player. Your job is to survive the entire game, to level up. I'm trying not to give away any spoilers here because all the encounter cards I want you to explore. On a side note, I've been playing Talisman probably 15 years. Usually all the time, all the expansions in, everything. And I've never looked at all the cards. I've never gone through all of my cards and looked at them. Now, naturally, the base game cards tend to turn up more often because I've played the base game the most. But in some of the expansions that I've played, the other day, a player drew a magic object. I've never seen it before. And I'm like, wait, well, let me see that card. I can't believe it. I've been playing this game 15 years. I've never looked at all the cards. I kind of know what's in there because certain cards I remember. I have never seen this card before. So much of the game is that excitement of like, what did you discover? What did you grab? What do you have? I want you to have that experience. So in this Tactica, while I talk about these things, I can't name names. I don't want to do that to you. But there are certain, so within that framework, there are certain spells, there are certain objects that allow you to blast someone directly. You don't have to be on the space. or there's spells and objects that can totemify someone, don't go for the Crown of Command. Gather those up at certain points, at certain places, and wait. And then when they get to the plane of fire and they're there, totemify them, blast them. They have to move, retreat back, retreat forward. They have to move a space. They're going to get killed. They're going to get pushed back out. Ways to stop characters, ways to blast characters. That's one way to do it. To sit back, wait for them to get up there, blast them, kill them, then make the run for the Crown of Command, and on the way, pick up their gear. So this strategy, of course, relies on getting some of that gear and actively pursuing it. Usually the tactics that I'm playing, I will play a primary tactica to make my run for the Crown of Command, while a secondary tactica will be to try to acquire ways to kill other players indirectly, just in case you run sooner or things don't quite work out for me. I have that as an option. But always running for the Crown of Command, it's not the only tactica in the game. It's not the only way to approach it. And in terms of your tactics, you should have 2 or 3 going at the same time, because the game is random. And as much as we're going to try and control it, we can't always control it. So if I'm going for a primary tactic and it doesn't quite work, switch to my secondary. I want to have those options ready and available.